couple of words about Kalen. And before I do that, I'd like to acknowledge a couple of people that couldn't be here tonight. Peggy's mother, Helen, unfortunately has taken ill recently, but she is on the road to recovery. So during the night, if you could maybe put her in your prayers and think of her, everyone here would appreciate it. So, my mother, Catherine, could not be here, and Joe Killian, Peggy's father, kind of watching down on us right now. We're thinking about them as well. So, but I'd also like to thank my father for coming and his wife Ian, because they actually drove down here 1,000 miles. It was a brutal trip. Ian actually got in an accident, broke her wrist, and she's over there suffering at the table right now. So thank them very much for coming. What we're going to do tonight is we're going to do like a little bit of a audience participation type of thing. So the correct answer to all my questions will be yes. Does everyone understand?
Yes.
Does everyone understand?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to do a song that I wrote for Kalen, 2 minutes, and then I'm just going to turn it over to the groom's father. So this will just take a second. Do you like my guitar?
Yes.
Do you like my guitar?
Yes.
Well, thank you very much. While I'm getting this set, I'd like to say a few words about Kalen. And anyone here that knows her knows this to be true. She's generous to a fault. She would give you the shirt off her back. Her laugh is infectious. Everyone here that knows her knows, and she's been around. When she starts to laugh, everybody in the room kind of just follows. Kalen walked at 7 months of age, ran at 8 months, could do simple math by a year, and graduated high school at 2 years old. Well, I guess that's about it. So we're going to do this right now. This is a song I wrote for Kalen. There are envelopes on everybody's table. Feel free to open those now. You can follow along if you'd like. I'd like to thank Amanda Spohr for helping with the envelopes. Pretty pictures on the wall of your life story, and I promise you I remember it all. Funny tales in all their glory. Someday I'll pass it on, you'll see, to the little child sitting on my knee that asks about her mommy. Like yesterday, pretty ponytails and baby dolls. Oh, how you laughed all day when you were young. Our hearts were as one, my darling little one. When you were young, it seems like yesterday, those trouble games and how you won. I can still kiss those tears take my place with you. May your dreams all come true. That's been my wish for you since you were young. Since you were young, we love both of you and that little Lola too, my darling little one. I love you, honey.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I'd like my pleasure to invite the father of the groom to the top of the judge's DJ table, please.
No encore. I'd also like to express my thanks and our family's thanks for everyone coming this distance to be at this great event and the marriage of Ryan and Kalen. A little bit about Ryan. I won't go through the entire journey, but he was born 29 years ago, thereabouts, right, Ryan? Okay. He was a great kid. He's come a long way in life. We're very proud of him. This evening, there are several folks that are not here that wish they could be here. His grandmother, Joyce, was not able to make the trip. His grandfather, Walter, and grandparents, Helen and George, have passed away a number of years ago, but their thoughts and prayers are here. And Ryan, has been a journey. I remember when you gave me a call and you said you had gone out on a date with this wonderful gal. And you said I may have met her because she may have been visiting the plant I work for, the company I work for. Ended up I had not met her during that meeting, but Brian said that he really liked her. He hoped he had another date, and I'm glad you did. And Kalen, you're a wonderful, beautiful woman, and we welcome you into the family. And with friends and family here at this event and at your marriage, they will help you through the journey of life. And you will have ups and downs, but I know you will both make it together with all of us helping you. So best of luck. Love you.
At this time, I'd like to invite our two best men and our two maid of honors up to the table, please.
Hi everyone, my name is Brittany, and for those of you that don't know, I met Kalen freshman year at Penn State. We spent 3 years of college living together, and Kay was easily the caretaker of the apartment. I mean, she cooked us dinner, she picked us up from class when it was snowing, she made my bed when I was a little too hungover to do it myself, which is probably more often than I would like to admit. And Ryan, I know Kay will take excellent care of you, just like she took care of us. And even though I haven't known you as long as I've known Kay, from what I've seen you, well, I'm rest assured that she's in just as good of hands. So my advice to both of you is to continue to put each other first. And if you do that, you'll be in for a very long, happy marriage. And I hope you take a moment today to just soak it in and really enjoy tonight. And I love you both. So now I'll pass it over to Kay, or to, not you, to Megan.
I'm Megan. I'm known. I've been friends with Kalen since high school, so a little longer than I'd like to admit. But I've got the pleasure of meeting Ryan a little while back, and I've gotten so much joy out of getting to know him as Kalen's boyfriend and then fiance, and as well as a friend. He's just an amazing guy. I'm so lucky because I have gotten a chance to spend a lot of time with them. We've adopted some traditions in Pittsburgh such as Margarita Monday, which was wildly short-lived due to Hangover Tuesdays. So that turned into Turkey Taco Tuesdays because me and Kalen have this crazy unhealthy obsession with guacamole. And we found a chance to hang out with Ryan. He puts up with us, which is great. And of course, whenever they got engaged, we spent many man-hours putting together things for this wedding. And it was a little quality time that me and Ryan would refer to as Kalen's sweatshop, which some of you may have experienced this week. They're fabulous. But getting back to how me and Kalen met, I was back in high school, where everything revolves around, you know, whose prom group you were in, whose after party you were going to, and we then matured, quote unquote, went to college, and then everything was about, you know, who was the cutest boy in the group, which naturally led to us debating over who was the dumbest idiot of the group. And now, 6 years later, you know, we've pretty much, our conversation revolves around grocery store circular coupons and where we're gonna get the cheapest avocados that week for the guacamole. And it's, most of the time it's Aldi, just the tip. But we love Aldi. But anyway, throughout all the, you know, trials of life and change, one thing has remained constant, and that's Kalen's loyalty as a friend. The girl, I just can't even begin to express how loyal she is to anyone. At the drop of a hat, if you need something, she's there without hesitation, no matter how big or small, even if you don't deserve it sometimes, and it's just really great. And it's a gesture that's oftentimes followed with the phrase, anything for you. And it's just amazing because she actually means it. And to experience that in a friend is just really wonderful. And Ryan, you really got yourself an amazing woman. She'll never, ever leave your side. I think you know that better than anybody, but she will be there forever. And as happy as I am, you know, that Ryan scored with this amazing woman, I have to say that Kate got a pretty good deal too. I love Ryan. It's just so refreshing as a friend to see your best friend so happy and in just an amazing place when you know that she's with the guy that she is supposed to be with, who is amazing, and they'll be like that forever. And I'm just so happy, and I couldn't be more happy, and I'm just so thankful that I'm a part of this. So, to you guys.
Hello, everybody. I'd like to thank everybody for coming again. Want to, first of all, for anybody who doesn't know me, I'm Greg, Kalen's older brother. I want to thank again my parents and Ryan's parents for putting together such a wonderful weekend. Can we give them a round of applause, please? I want to point out how beautiful my little sister looks tonight as well. She really looks stunning. Give her a round of applause. Yeah. She wasn't always quite as feminine. Matter of fact, she was quite the tomboy growing up. Most people in the neighborhood thought she actually was a boy for the majority of our childhood. You know, she had the same haircut that I did, the bowl cut, shaved the sides in the back. You know, with, and she had. We go swimming. She'd go shirtless, like all the other boys. You know, matter of fact, I think there are still like 2 to 3 people in Western Pennsylvania that still think she is a boy with just a ton of medical bills. The neighborhood we grew up in was predominantly male. You know, not a whole lot of girls for her to play with. So whenever I'd run out of the house to go play with my friends, my mom would always make sure I included her whenever we did. And you know, I wasn't necessarily too keen on that at the time because, you know, when you're a kid, you just want to go. You don't want to look after anybody. But I also really like playing Sega, and if I didn't include Kalen, there's no Sega for Greg. So, I mean, it was, one of the games we played was a game called Jailbreak when we were kids, a game called Jailbreak. Anybody who's never played Jailbreak, essentially it's like hide and seek. You know, you have 2 teams, one team hides, the other seeks. If you get caught, you wind up in jail until somebody can bail you out from your team, or until members of your team all went up in jail and then you lose. I'll never forget one night. I happened to find myself in jail, and I look out into that suburban darkness, and I see this miniature person, this figure, perched up in a tree. And all of a sudden that figure leaps out of the tree, lands on the ground, jumps up like a miniature Jason Bourne, and starts sprinting towards me. Once I hit the light, I see that it's Kalen. Bull haircut, kind of bouncing around. Her legs moving way faster than I ever thought a 7-year-old's legs were meant to go. And she has this look of fierce determination in her eyes. She's gonna save her brother, no matter who or what was in her way. I can't remember the outcome of that game that night. But from that point on, my mom didn't have to bribe me with Sega to want to hang out with her. From that point on, she had my respect. And a lot of time has passed since then, obviously. Fortunately, that wouldn't be the last time I'd find myself in jail. And unfortunately, too, that jail wasn't conveniently located in my parents' front porch. That's a story for a different time, though. Back to my sister, Kalen. She's moved, saving her brother from her fictional jail is no longer her goal. She's moved on to real life goals. I'm so proud of what she's accomplished and who she has become. She's matured into a beautiful young woman, inside and out. And, when I look at her now, sometimes I still see that child, though. I still see that courage to be vulnerable, the courage to, find out what really matters to you in your life and to go after it with that reckless abandon. I look over at Ryan, I see a big red X on his forehead, and I can't think of a better target. I've known Ryan for a few years now, but I don't think it was until last summer that I really got to know him better. We happened to be the Jersey Shore 4th of July weekend, me, my parents, Kalen, and Ryan, and one of those nights we happened to meet some of our friends down the shore, about 30 minutes away. So we're in a car, we're driving, me, Kalen, and Ryan. I'm in the back seat, Ryan's driving, Kalen is in the passenger seat. I believe we took a wrong turn, and Kalen's not happy about that. I can't remember exactly what she said. If there's any young children here, please cover your ears, but Ryan, where the fuck are we, you fucking asshole? Asshole or idiot, one of the two. But I'm in the back seat. I'm in the back seat. And in my head, I'm thinking, Ryan, please tell her to shut up. Please give it right back to her. I didn't say this because I was afraid. But Ryan, he has this relaxed confidence about himself. He has this very calmly said he knew where we were going. He didn't get reactionary. Soon things dissipated. Kalen retained her cool. We all had a great time that night. And afterwards, I gave the incident some thought. And I think I learned a valuable lesson from Ryan that night, which is sometimes, in order to win arguments, we have to be willing to lose. And I have faith, whatever kind of problems they run into, whatever kind of arguments that take place, they'll come out even stronger than they were before. And, I was going to close the speech with saying that, although I'm co-best man tonight, Ryan really is the best man I could ever picture my sister marrying, I could ever hope for. Then I was like, I'm sure like a million other people have said that before, and it'll probably sound really corny, but it really is the truth. Ryan really is the best man I could ever picture my sister Hope marrying, and it's an honor for me to be up here right now. It's even more of an honor to call Ryan my brother-in-law. Kalen and Ryan, congratulations. Thank you very much.
All right, best for last, obviously. So I also want to thank Kalen and Ryan's parents both for everything. This weekend's been great. I also want to thank Kalen and Ryan for having a wedding south of the Mason-Dixon line, because all my other friends waited until I moved to Texas to have weddings in Pittsburgh. So thank you guys. Flights aren't cheap. For those of you who don't know me, I was Ryan's roommate the last 2 years of college. I replaced O'Neill, a much better fit looking version of O'Neill, clearly. Ryan and I spent a lot of time together. We were, like I said, we were roommates for 2 years. Sleeping in the same room as someone for that long, you get close to one another. Not in that way. And for the most time, we did sleep in the same room. Occasionally, I slept in the bathroom or the balcony or on a table somewhere else. But Ryan was always there in the morning to make sure I made it back one way or another and tell Colleen I was okay. So when I first heard about Ryan and Kalen getting engaged, I was obviously very excited, but I was a little confused because amongst our friends, we always have a saying that generally our best ideas come between 2 a.m. and when Colleen tells us it's time to go to bed. And since I hadn't seen Ryan in a while, that clearly this was one of his best ideas that came outside of that window. So apparently that's changed a little bit. We've grown up slightly from where we were before. And it's clear that Kalen is a great fit for Ryan. They're perfect together. In college, Ryan had a little bit of trouble, and a little bit is an understatement, of being on time. It got to the point where if Ryan told you he was going to be there at 7, he'd be there at 9. So instead of that, we just call it 7 GST, Griff Standard Time. Because that's about 2 to 2.5 hours behind when everyone else will show up, and Griff will show up a little bit later. But I will go ahead and keep this short. As I was writing this 10 minutes ago, I thought about the great things of, when we get together like this with all friends and family, as I hear everyone talk to each other and hear the other speeches, it always starts with, remember that time this happened, remember that time Robbie did something, remember that time Troutman did something, but that's the beauty of it, is that, when you marry your best friend, those remember that times are every day. And hopefully you guys will always remember this day and all the memories going forward. And after that speech, I'm good to throw this last part in there. And Mrs. Griffin, please cover your ears. But whenever it asks, is this a perfect fit? It can be answered in one clear statement: does a Griffin shit in the woods?